Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary. Happy 4th of July to all of you that celebrate. I'm coming to you with a very special Oy Vey edition of 90 Day Oy Vey. Paul and Karine, they are the definition of Oy Vey. Okay, that's what I think of. When I see these two, I just go to myself, Oy Vey. So, there is new drama with Paul and Karine, and we're just going to hop right into it. So, from the moment we met them, we knew it was going to be a hot mess fucking express. From the moment Paul was packing to meet his beloved Karine, and he packed a PP shield, okay, because he didn't want piranhas to go up. Yeah, anyway. So from the moment that Paul ran into the Amazon like a lunatic, yeah, we knew this was going to be a hot mess express. And unfortunately, it boiled over off screen. Paul and Karine had two boys together. And due to DV allegations between the both of them and child neglect charges between the both of them, they lost their parental rights to their two young sons. Karine just had a daughter, and Paul was the one that did the baby announcement, which I thought was weird, but it looked like that Paul was still on good terms with Karine and now her new baby daddy. But yeah, let's dive further into this and you'll see how this totally imploded. So when Karine lost custody of her children, she started a GoFundMe for attorney costs, and also she has to pay child support. She has to pay visitation costs. So all of this stuff Karine cannot afford, even though her other platforms, may or may not be a steady source of passive income, but Karine has other platforms where she makes money. And so this whole situation with the children had been messy from the start, and this is all dating back to 2023. So Paul had put up to his stories. To add salt to our wounds, Pierre absolutely hates living with my cousin. He misses us dearly, which is why she banned all contact, visitation, and photos of biological family after saying in court under oath she would never infringe on the biological family. Our lawyers caught her in numerous lies. Karine has photos of Pierre crying at the end of their visits, not wanting to leave with my cousin. The videos are very sad. My mother has also experienced this at her home, Pierre not wanting to return with my cousin to their home. We even have a video obtained by a private investigator of Pierre at my aunt's house, her grandchildren escaping my cousin's car, running inside my aunt's house to hide from her, unbuckling himself, escaping her car to flee. My mother found her court order visitation scheduled last night, signed by the original judge, so my mom, new lawyer, can fight for my mother, grandmother rights alongside my lawyer and Karine's lawyer. Okay. Now, all of this is really sad because there are young children involved in this, and this has been dating back to 2023. Okay, you guys. So then at the time, he said, yes, my mother and Karine both have court order visitation rights. However, courts are closed until after the holidays. We are hiring my mother a lawyer to work with my lawyer and Karine's lawyer. We have to wait until sheriff serves my cousin the lawsuit. Unfortunately, that will also not be until after courts reopen. We are extremely thankful to our legal team that because of my cousin violating court orders and restraining visitation is grounds to remove custody and allow my mother or Karine the ability to get custody finally. Judges do not like it when someone restricts visitation rights, especially court ordered ones. Hopefully, she will be found in contempt and jailed when the courts reopen. Then we see a motion that was filed by Karine's attorney, And it basically says, come the respondents by counsel moves to court to enter the attached order holding the petitioner in contempt. The respondent through this action has lost custody of her children, PS and ES. However, the court entered an order granting her supervised parenting time. The court ordered that Ms. Karine Stahili visit her children at least once per week under the care of an agreed upon supervisor. For the past year, she has seen the children once a week through CPS at the L&N building. On or about December 6th, the court granted Miss Tanner, that is the cousin, permanent custody of the children. Ms. Tanner has not responded to any of the text messages regarding supervised visits since that date. The court order granting Mr. Healy's supervised visit is still in effect, but Ms. Tanner refuses to facilitate the visit. Wherefore now the respondent moves this court to hold Ms. Tanner in contempt. Okay, and then basically here is an affidavit from Karine. I, Karine Stahili, am the mother of PS and ES. I last saw my kids on December 11, 2023. I visited them at the CPS building. After the December 13th court date, I have not seen my children. I have tried many times to see my children, but the custodian, and I blocked out her name, I reached out by text to Lindsay on December 19, 2023, asking to set up supervised visits. I asked her where she preferred to set up the supervised visits, and she did not respond. I reached out to her by text on December 22nd, 2023, about the visits, expressing to her the court order is still in place. She did not respond. I reached I reached it on December 2024 by text and I did not receive a response. Again, I reached out on December 27, 2023 by text and I did not receive a response. Lindsay has completely ignored all of my text messages. I reached out to CPS and they suggested a visitation center called Harmony Home. I tried to set up my supervised visits at the center. My understanding is that they try to contact Lindsay, but she is not responding. So now, fast forward to 2024, and apparently, Karine had announced her pregnancy. Okay, and she sent text messages to Paul announcing her pregnancy. And Paul says Karine sent me these messages between her and her boyfriend about their new pregnancy. I wish them all the best. So her baby daddy is a dude named Michael, and we're going to get into him in a second. So you see the message starts off with, okay, babe. And she says, I want to get married. Okay, babe. I want to drive your car. Is that okay? And he says, yes, babe. That's fine. Pick up. So then she says, I'm glad you wanted me to remove my IUD. I am so happy we did it. And he says, no way, really? And she says, yes, we will be a family. And he said, did you do a test? And she said, yes. I want to move into your house. Okay, babe, I want to get married. Okay, babe. So, Paul basically made Karine's pregnancy announcement for her, just like he made her birth announcement for her, which I find really fucking weird. So at the time, Paul posted, yes, me and Karine are still married. Yes, she is pregnant. Yes, she has a new boyfriend who is the father of the new baby. New boyfriend doesn't want her filming on here anymore, and she is having some problems with immigration. She will give me any new content she has, and I will post on here when I have time. Karine had an IUD to prevent pregnancy, which he convinced her to remove, and she got pregnant immediately. I am still mentally absorbing this. They he told her he was 50 and really wanted to have a baby. They met this year. And all I could think is I feel so bad for this new baby. This new baby is being born into a hot mess express train. And there is nothing more precious in this world than new babies. So now, who is this dude that allegedly convinced Karine to take out her IUD and get pregnant again? Like, that was a really fucking great idea. Well, apparently, according to Paul, allegedly, yes, the man is a mental health professional over my children's mental health with the Jefferson County Public School System. Yes, he has providing Karine with confidential information about our children. I am disgusted. Yes, he is 47. Karine will go to any lengths and any means necessary to get information on our children. This has gone too far. So then I'm like trying to mentally absorb all this. And mind you, this is back last year when Karine, first, or Paul first announced that Karine was pregnant. Okay, so now the following stories took place in a 24-hour period. Okay, first, there was this posted to Karine story, and it's a picture of her baby daddy. His name is Michael, and it says, "This is my real fiance, and yes, I'm pregnant with his baby. Go fuck yourself, Paul. This is a real man, and he will kill you if you fuck with me anymore." Now, honestly, that does not sound like Karine, but anyway. So then the next thing says, Karine posted, "I didn't post that. I'm not with anyone. Everyone knows who posted that. P." Okay. Then, now mind you guys, this is all in a 24-hour period. So then she writes, "I'm very sorry about the drama last night. I want you guys to know I am not pregnant and I am single. I am not with that person and he does not want to hurt anyone. He was only a good friend. He's a great guy who would never do something like that. You guys know who has always made drama in my life. Please don't send him messages. He's a very kind person. Please do not cause drama in his life." Okay. So this is Michael, the father of Karine's daughter. Okay. And like I said, it looked like everything was all good in Karine and Paul land. I mean, Paul was the one that made the baby announcement. I'm sorry for the fire background, effects, but it is the 4th of July in New York City. And Paul even at one point wanted to consider being, oh, what the heck is this? Brother husbands or whatever the fuck with Karine and Michael. I was just like, Paul, could you please stop being a creep? But I guess that's impossible for Paul. Now, in Karine's GoFundMe, at the end of May, she posted this letter from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. To make a long story short, okay, and I am not an immigration attorney, but from what I understand, okay, Karine filed for something called, and like I said, I am not the immigration attorney to all the 90-day stars like Kelsey is. But from what I understand, Karine filed this form called an I-751, petition to remove conditions on residence. Okay, is used by individuals who obtained conditional permanent resident status through marriage to a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. This form is filed to remove the 2-year condition on their green card, allowing them to obtain a permanent 10-year green card. Okay, so now the purpose of this form is to prove that the marriage was entered into good faith and not solely for immigration purposes. The filing deadline is it must be filed within the 90-day period immediately before the conditional green card's expiration date, and it must be a joint filing. So considering that Paul lives in Brazil and Karine is in the United States, and she is with another dude, and she is pregnant with another dude. Needless to say, this I-7751 form was rejected. Okay. So ICE basically said, you know something? We reject this. This doesn't seem right to us. Now, I'm going to repeat myself again. I'm no immigration attorney. I'm not Kelsey, the immigration attorney to all the 90-day cast members that need one. But this is my interpretation of this. Okay. So now, this is where the drama began a couple of days ago. Paul, it looked like, hacked Karine's account. It seems like Paul has Karine's passwords to her social media. This is my opinion, okay? Purely my opinion. So, this was put up in Karine's stories, okay? The picture of Paul. I managed this Instagram. I assume this other chick is his girlfriend, his new girlfriend, but okay. Then Paul posted these messages from Karine, okay? And Paul is in blue and Karine is in gray. So Paul is telling Karine, take my pictures off your Instagram now. So Karine says, your choice. I have nothing to say. Leave me alone. That's all I ask. Thank you. And then it shows a bit of a caption where it says Paul Staheley's wife, Mike and newborn sources say Karine may be deported soon. So Paul is saying, don't post me on your Instagram. Stop pretending I am controlling the account. So she says, I don't have Instagram. So he says, this isn't funny. And she says, you have it, which solidifies my belief that Paul does have Karine's Instagram and social media passwords. Then in this other message, Paul says, you posted, and he redacted the person's name on social media. Are you insane? So she says, not me. So he said, who posted that on your IG? And she says, I don't know, and mentions a blogger whose name I do not say on my channel. Okay. So I'm like sitting here watching all this shit unfold, taking screenshots as fast as my little fingers could do, because I knew all this shit was going to be deleted. Okay. This drama was unfolding in front of my eyes, and I knew it was going to vanish. Okay. So then Paul posted this to his story. Please report Karine's account for pretending to be me to play victim so she could attempt to file for VAWA, which, as I explained to her, with domestic violence and child abuse charges against her that she was found guilty of, it makes that option ineligible. And then he asks us to report Karine's account again. Now, what is this VAWA, you may ask? Well, it is the Violence Against Women Act, which provides a pathway to legal status for certain foreign nationals who are victims of DV or extreme cruelty by a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident spouse, parent, or adult child. It allows these individuals to self petition for a green card without the abuser's knowledge or participation. So apparently, this is the card that Karine is trying to pull, according to Paul, okay, as a last ditch effort to not be deported. Okay, so now sit back, pour yourself a drink, roll yourself a joint, because this is a doozy. Paul posted this approximately 8 minute, yes, 8 minute phone call between him, Michael, Karine's baby daddy, and you hear Karine on the call. Okay, so let me share this with you guys. It is a lot to unpack, but here we go. Make sure you guys got your drinks poured and your joints rolled, because this is a doozy.
had the plan in place of the whole immigration system.
Make this clear. So you you don't think they're going to find out on anything, and you don't think they'll find out about fraud. You don't think they'll realize that the whole thing's fraud.
No,
So you think we should hide
we've
it
already
and
talked,
then just
Paul.
keep
We've
on the
already
down
talked
low?
about this. Yeah,
Okay.
we've already talked about this. You already had the plan in place of the whole immigration citizenship thing. So, yeah, it'll be fine.
So you think we
Just
should
go
try to
along.
defraud immigration?
Yeah,
You don't see a problem with committing this level of fraud and the possibility of us getting criminally prosecuted?
you didn't see a problem with it before.
I mean, her being pregnant kind of changes the whole situation.
Why?
I mean, being she's pregnant makes it kind of obvious that it's fraud at this point.
Well, they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to do anything. Just because she got pregnant doesn't mean that you guys can't still be in an open relationship. You've already said it yourself. You can be in an open relationship. She's allowed to fuck whoever she wants, and so can you. But you guys are still married for the sake of the kids.
We had the
Plain and simple.
Paragard. We had the
You told me.
Paragard
You told
installed
me
for this
that. You
exact
told me
situation.
that before.
We had the
No, you told
Paragard
me.
installed just to make sure she wouldn't get pregnant to prevent this from happening. She purposely removed the Paragard, purposely got pregnant, and
No,
then this whole situation.
she can say that she removed the Paragard for health reasons because it was bothering her.
I still think that defrauding the federal government is going to cause us a
They
world of
can't prove
problems.
that she took. They can't prove that she took out the Paragard to try to get pregnant. She can say that she took out the Paragard because it was causing her health problems and she was having a weird discharge from her vagina.
I think with the whole thing, with her citizenship, her visa application, and with the custody case in January, I think that this whole thing and trying to defraud all these different systems could cause us a lot of legal problems. I really do.
Well, I think as long as you keep the post up that you made on Instagram, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that the
So
post maybe is a
I
little
don't see how.
inappropriate, but
So
I
I don't
still,
see how having I don't see how having a post up is helping anything, Paul.
you're right. It's not helping. It needs to be taken down. I agree with that, but I still think trying to commit fraud is not a good idea. I mean, I don't know if they can criminally charge you, but I mean, they could criminally charge me. I don't know with her. I mean, at most, maybe they might deport her. I don't know. But I think like the whole situation is not good, and the fact that you can't really hide this whole pregnancy situation.
Again, let's see how things play out, man.
Okay, all right.
Just
Where's
take the
Karine? Tell
just
Karine down there for a second.
just take the post down
Okay, all right,
and
get
let's see
Karine on the
how things.
phone. Put Karine on the phone for a second.
She doesn't want to talk, man. She's in
Just
tears and crying.
just ask her to get on the phone for a second.
She's right here. She can hear you.
Okay, Karine, say something. Karine,
She's right here. She doesn't want to talk, but she's right here.
just ask her if she's happy with her decision. That's all I want her to say. Is she happy with her decision?
Are you happy with your decision? I don't know.
Karine,
He looks pretty.
just ask her. All I want her to do is tell me yes or no if she's happy with her decision. And that's the whole thing. We've been talking for like 4 or 5 hours. This whole situation, all of us have. I'm a little shocked in the whole pregnancy situation. I think it's going to cause some issues with the immigration and the citizenship. I think it's going to cause some problems personally. I mean, that's my personal opinion on it. I think trying to defraud the government on the whole basis is a whole other situation. Um, the other lies and other deceitful things, but I think the defrauding thing, I think, is a bad idea. But yeah, if she could just tell me, and then that's it. Then I'll go ahead and take care of that stuff you want me to do, and that's fine. Just have her say her piece, and then I'll do what y'all asked.
Yeah, just say something. Okay. So he can take the post down. I'll just take the post down, man.
It's just, I just want to know if she's happy with her decision. That's all I know. I mean, the fact she removed this and got pregnant while she was fighting the custody of her children is just shocks me. Both the kids are autistic. They need constant attention. She has a long time. She's struggling with going to school, going to work. She's having a hard time as it is. And to add a new baby to the situation with a new relationship, no offense, I think it adds chaos. It's not also fair to the children because the children need to have constant attention. They're both autistic and need constant care and everything
And I'm sorry to say, but Paul is making sense right here.
else. She struggles with a lot of things going on, and then of course she's got work, she has UPS, and then that's up with the kids, this is everything else. Then her whole thing with her citizenship and her residency being based on the marriage, was a whole other thing we were dealing with, which her lawyer previously warned her about. And now that adds to that complication, it adds complications to everything. It makes things very complicated for her. It's concerning. But, Karine, can you just say something, please? Karine? Karine? All right. She not going to respond.
I guess not. Maybe we say something.
I mean, Karina, and all in all, with everything going on, are you happy with your decision? What happened? Are you happy with the decision? Huh? Do what?
I don't know anymore. I
Karina,
was.
no, Karina, I fought for you. I helped stop the
I don't
adoption.
care
I helped you
anymore.
get your
I just
visitation
leave
back.
me alone.
I helped you get your visitations back. I helped you stop the adoption. I helped you a lot. You had the Paragard installed to prevent pregnancy so you could focus on you, your life, and the children. The fact you removed the Paragard and purposely got yourself pregnant while you're fighting for the kids and deal with the citizenship based on our marriage, you know, this complicates everything. And why you two would think it was a good idea, a man that's almost 50, no offense, I'm just saying, and then yourself, almost 30, would think this is a good idea while you're fighting for custody of your children and, while you're currently about to get your citizenship, taken care of based on the marriage, on our marriage, after your lawyer already warns you that if they thought anything was going on that would be fraudulent, it would cause you problems, you would get denied and possibly deported. Not to mention the whole stuff with the custody case we're dealing with in the family court situation. This now is probably going to complicate that because you have two kids that need to have constant attention, and now you're going to have a new baby that you're going to have to focus on. New babies are a lot of work. I did pretty much everything for Ethan and Kiara in the first.
So there you go, you guys. That is an 8-minute long conversation between Karine's baby daddy, Michael, and Paul. And actually, Paul makes some sense in that conversation. I mean, that was the worst thing Karine could have done. Removed that IUD, gotten pregnant. She has way too many issues and two children that she has already lost custody of. So that wasn't the wisest choice, in my opinion. But as for their social medias, it does look like someone was in Karine's Instagram, whether it was Karine herself trying to make it look like it's Paul to make her look like the victim. But a bunch of stuff, including her profile picture, has been deleted from her Instagram. Paul's Instagram looks exactly the same as it always does. And Paul is back to his usual activities, prowling the streets of Brazil at night, doing whatever he does. So that is basically it. That is the latest update on the Paul and Karine Hot Mess Express train. And thank you, everyone, for watching me. And thank you for your patience with the fireworks that went off in the middle. Have a happy 4th. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. And that's basically it. Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.